Good morning, primary class. This is your Friday lesson. Remember, Paul and Silas were in prison, and the gates all swung open and the chains fell off, but nobody ran away, and the prison guard wanted to know how he could be saved, and they let him know. It was still night, and Paul and Silas were talking with the jailer. Instead of being angry because they had been put into prison, what did the jailer do? Acts 16, verse 32 through 34. And they spoke with him the word of the Lord, and to all that were in his house. And he took them that same hour of the night, and washed their stripes. And he was baptized, he and all of his family, straightway. And when they had brought them into his house, he sent meat before them, and rejoiced, believing in God with all of his house. What a kind thing to do. How exciting! A whole family that learned about Jesus and were baptized that night. When the morning came, the city officer sent a message telling the jailer to let Paul and Silas go free. But when the jailer told them the good news, he must have been surprised at what Paul had said. Verse 35 through 37. And when it was day, the magistrate sent to the sergeant, saying, "Let those men go." And the keeper of the prison told the saying to Paul, "The magistrates have sent to let you go, and now therefore depart and go in peace." But Paul said to them, "They have beaten us openly, uncondemned, being Romans, and have cast us into prison. And now they do thrust us out privately? Nay, verily, but let them come themselves and fetch us out." Ooh, it was a very serious thing. The city officers hadn't known that Paul and Silas were Roman citizens. When they had beaten them and put them in prison without a trial, they had broken Roman law. And that was very serious. Many people knew what had happened, and Paul wanted those people to be told the truth. They must know that Paul and Silas were innocent. When the city officers found out what a terrible thing they had done, they were frightened. They knew that they could get into big trouble. No wonder they were very humble when they had come and talked to Paul and Silas in verse 38 and 39. And the sergeants told these words unto the magistrates, and they feared when they heard that they were Romans. And they came and besought them and brought them out and desired them to depart out of the city. After they had talked with the city officers, Paul and Silas didn't leave Philippi at once. They went back to Lydia's home for a while before they left to preach in other places. After they left, many people heard the jail miracle story and learned about Jesus. Verse 40 tells us about that. And they went out of the prison and entered into the house of Lydia. And when they had seen the brethren, they comforted them and departed. Now here's your question. Can God bring good out of bad? Is Jesus still needing brave missionaries like Paul and Silas to tell about him? Can we be missionaries even before we grow up? How do you think we can? I'll see you tomorrow.